What's going on, guys? Welcome to your 61st tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be going over the curve editor. So go ahead and open up Matinee, and if you don't see the curve editor already, you can do so in a couple ways. If you go to Window, Unreal Curve Editor, or you can go ahead and hit this toggle curve editor button, it's going to bring up your curve editor. Now by default, we need to tell the UDK which track we want to graph. So if we go ahead and select the track, in the lower right hand corner we're going to see a black box. Go ahead and click that box, and it's going to go ahead and graph those curves for that track. Now if your view is kind of messed up like that, go ahead and just hit this button, Fit View to All, and it's going to make your curves appear nicely in the screen. So let me explain to you guys what the curve editor is. Your curve editor is basically graphing the movement of your curves like on a sheet of graph paper, where left to right, this axis along the bottom symbolizes the time. So this is 0 seconds, 1 second 50, 2.5 seconds right there. And this up and down, this negative 50, negative 100 symbolizes the distance. So the reason we're only getting one graph is because our model is only changing on one axis. So let me go ahead and make this more apparent by unchecking these. If you go ahead and select this first one, you can see that it's graphing the red or X movement of this door. So this R, G, and B box, graphs the X, Y, and Z movement of this model. So if we go ahead and take a look at the X movement, which is the left to right movement of our door, check it out. Whenever we play our animation, this door is not moving left to right at all. So that's why we get a keyframe right here and a keyframe right here, no change whatsoever. If we go ahead and take a look at the Y, which is forward down the hallway and backward towards me, our door is not moving in either of those directions. So that's why we get zero change in Y. However, if we take a look at Z, which is up and down, that's what direction our door is moving. So as you can see, it starts at location 0, 0, and by the end of 3 seconds, it's about at negative 240. At about a second and a half, it's about negative 120. So as you can see, we can visually graph the movement of our door. So again, one last time, this R, G, and B, in other words, red, green, and blue value, line up with this X, Y, and Z axes of your door. So since we're only going to be working with a Z or blue, we can only go ahead and graph that so we don't accidentally grab any other keyframes. Now let me talk to you guys about the different types of graphs. This graph right here, if you hover over it, is called curve auto clamped. It's kind of like the default curve because it gives you a nice acceleration. Again, I said that if something's graphed and it has no change, then it's going to be graphed all on the same line. If it's straight up and down, then it means it's moving really fast. So this door is going to start out kind of slow, and then right about here it speeds up a lot, and then by the end, as you can see, it kind of slows down. So this is a natural looking graph because whenever you're driving a car or something, you don't go from 0 to 60 in 0 seconds. You kind of need to speed up there, get up to speed, and then when you are kind of accelerating fast and you need to slow down, you slow down gradually. You just don't hit a brick wall. So this is kind of a natural acceleration. If you do want a constant speed throughout, you can go ahead and select one of these keyframes and hit linear graph. And now your graph is going to be linear, a constant speed. Again, I really don't like to use this in, maybe in some rare cases, but you typically want to use this curve auto clamped. Now you can also see right next to your keyframes, you have this little white box right here. If you go ahead and grab this, you can manually adjust your curve as well. So now what this is doing is I made something called an overshoot, since this graph or the basic movement of my door is going from 0 to 300. So whenever I bring that curve above that, check out what happens. It kind of starts out as 0 and then it kind of loads up, changes in the positive distance, so it kind of goes up before coming back down. So that's called overshooting. Maybe if you want to, make a gun load up or someone punching and they, pull their fist back, then this is a good way to do that. But typically you want to work with either curve auto clamped or just auto, or maybe, linear. This constant has straight left and right or straight up and down. Again, it all depends on what you're looking for. So that's basically the different types of curves. And also, if you drag these little white things, and by the way, these white things right here, these white boxes, are called Bezier handles. So if you ever hear me talking about Bezier handles, like grab your Bezier handle, that's what I'm talking about. This little white box right here. It means manually adjusting your curve. So that's basically all there is to teach on the curve editor. I don't think I'm missing anything. So, well, if I am, I guess I'll talk to you guys about it in the upcoming tutorial. But for now, you guys now okay, how can I say this? You guys now know how to use the curve editor, so congratulations. So, for now, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.